And while that is downloading, I guess we'll get this video started. So what's going on there, guys? Hope you guys are doing great. This is Chris at Verlo Trading. It's going to be a pretty short video, and I just wanted to kind of go impromptu and talk about a few things. Basically, this video is going to be more specifically related to the day trading stuff. So for all you guys who watch the channel for the tutorials, I just wanted to say thank you guys, and I'm glad that those tutorial videos help you guys a lot, and I plan to make a lot more of them. That's pretty much my bread and butter these days, is just working on videos. On the side, I do practice day trading, and I basically trade US bond futures early morning. And I just wanted to inform you guys that in regards to my own day trading practices, which is something I do as a hobby, I'm going to be going back to the simulated account, demo account, for a few weeks until I build back my consistency. Basically, I acknowledge the fact that I'm really not consistent in my day trading. So, you got to be humble about it. This is a lesson that is important for new traders, because you can get into habits. I got into this habit of where I was just trading live. I was trading live capital almost all the time. And there were moments where I would hit the demo account, but I was not respecting the demo environment as much as I should be. Okay. And then I basically reached a point where, you can't continue trading, consistently losing money. You're going to wake up one day and you're going to say, okay, I have to stop doing this. And basically that day was today for me. I mean, I've had, flashes of it or moments where I thought about it. I never made that full commitment and said, all right, I'm going to the demo account now for 2 weeks minimum, or until I'm consistent. So I'm going to start with that, right? I'm kind of working myself into it. I'm going to say, okay, I have to do exactly what I'm doing, go back in the demo account, 2 weeks straight, trade only the same setups, and basically take it from there. What's hard about that, guys, is that it requires you to be humble about the fact that you're not consistent, first of all, which is something that not a lot of traders can do. And the other thing is, it forces you to actually come to terms with, why do you trade? Which is a pretty big question. You can ask a lot of traders, they might give you different answers, but why do you trade? Why do we trade? One reason as to why you should trade, or why you trade, is because you actually enjoy trading. If you don't enjoy trading, then you're not going to give the respect that is deserved to your simulated trading practice and developing your consistency. If you really don't enjoy trading, you're not going to think positively about the demo environment. And I guess part of my recent growth in my trading is learning to build that respect for the simulated trading environment. You guys know what I mean? So maybe that's, part of me maturing in my trading, maturing as a human being, and, developing respect for the craft, for the, process and the art of trading in the way that I trade. For everybody, it's going to be a little bit different, but I think that what we're talking about here is pretty relatable in general in regards to any kind of high-level activities, right? If you don't love it, then why are you doing it? You do it for the money, maybe, but then what if it's not consistent? How are you going to get consistent? You have to, practice, and if you don't like it, then you're really not going to love practicing. So you guys get what I'm saying? You have to frame yourself around this thing, and that's kind of what I've been trying to improve on and trying to do. What's tricky about it, guys, this is a big problem that I deal with, is that, balancing trading with your overall work and life. So balancing my trading with that is quite tricky, and that's one challenge that I've had to overcome. So bottom line, discipline required for getting up every day early, because I want to trade US treasuries, and you got to get up damn fucking early to trade these things. 7 o'clock in the morning, you got to be ready to hit that. So there's no going out and partying during the middle of the week type of action. You can't do that. If you're going to be trading US treasuries, you just simply can't do that. If I was trading the E-minis, it'd be a bit of a different story, but the thing is, the E-minis is not really within my risk tolerance, and the micros are just not really worth it for the way that I want to be trading and the way that I've built up my trading thus far. Okay, I know that maybe that sounds like I'm limiting myself and putting myself in a box in some regards, but that's kind of what happens when you get used to a certain way of trading. I wanted to share with you guys, it doesn't matter how long you've been in this game for, you probably will reach a point in your trading where you just need to admit that you are just not seeing it. You're not in the zone. Maybe you're not consistent with your process around trading. There's other shit in your life that's bothering you, taking up too much of your time, and you're not doing a good job balancing it at all. And you're not putting enough time to practice your trading. You're not putting enough time to review your trades. You're just not disciplined about the whole act of the whole process involved with your trading. And that's bottom line, right? If you can't admit that, guys, you're totally screwed, because there's traders out there that are doing all those things, that are super disciplined. And I've seen some traders. Okay, so I wanted to give you guys a bit of context around how I'm going to approach this demo trading period and how I'm going to gauge my progress and all of that. The first thing is that I'm going to be using the demo trade service that is available with Sierra Chart. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. In Sierra Chart, you can enable trade simulation mode, but the issue with trade simulation mode is that sometimes when you do market replays, the trading information can be sort of deleted away, and I'm not totally sure of it. What I do know is that the best way to do simulated trading with Sierra Chart is actually to connect to their trading evaluator service. They have like a trading service specifically for that, where you can create your own dedicated accounts. You can create as many accounts as you want. You can set their account balances and all that. You can even configure the margins if you want to do that. And you connect to this. It's basically like connecting to a trading service. And the symbols will be different because the symbols are always different in Sierra Chart depending on the trading service you connect to. In reality, the trading part of it is one thing that I will be measuring my progress with. I will be using the trade activity log in Sierra Chart to measure my results, but I'll also be spending some time making sure that I'm trading the setups that I always trade. And that is probably the only feature that's missing in the trade activity log in Sierra Chart, which is basically the ability to mark the name of your trade or the hashtag of your trade, or make any kind of notes that are associated with a trade. I'm sure people out there have done this, maybe some third-party app anyways, but a pen and paper or a notepad works just fine. As long as you know exactly the setups you're trading, and you can always go back and view your order fills on the chart, which is a great feature in Sierra Chart, and you can review those one by one. And that's something I got to do with my existing trades over the last month. That's going to be part of it, but I would say there's two aspects, or there's a few different aspects to how I'm going to go about this. The first is I'm going to be focusing on the discipline around the process of getting up at the same time to trade during that time, even if I'm trading the demo account. And, that's really hard, because in the back of your mind, the not humble version of yourself is saying, well, you know what? I don't really need to get up at 7 if I'm not going to be actually putting on any real risk. That's like the demon on your shoulder. And then you have the responsible version of yourself on the other shoulder, who's saying, if you really want to be serious about this, you better structure your life and your process around this when you're in your practice environment. It doesn't matter if you're practicing, you're here to get better. Okay? You don't need to be trading live capital when you're not consistent. You should not be at all. So in regards to analyzing the results of my trading, it's going to be a little bit hard to gauge that. What is a good result in the span of a couple of weeks? It's hard to gauge it, right? And you need to give yourself some sort of a benchmark. Well, I already have quite a lot of results to kind of reference. So that's one thing. And I can kind of base it on that. And one thing that I know for sure is that when you go into that demo environment, you don't trade the same. You do not trade the same because your emotions are not the same. The trades you're taking may be the same, they may not be. And what I'm going to try to work on is limiting myself to taking only those trades and not, spending too much time messing around with other trades. And if I do spend time messing around with other trades, I'm going to make sure to mark that down and write that in either a text or, make a session note in my trade journal and basically say, at this time on this day, I was messing around with a certain way of trading. And that has to be written down, because or else I'm going to look at the results. And if I don't see what I was doing, then I'm not going to be able to, track that progress accordingly. So it's definitely going to be tricky if you start messing around with other setups while you're doing that. So this is like the boring trader work that nobody wants to do, right? Fat Cat said it. He probably quoted it from that guy Goldstein. Everybody wants to be a trader until they have to do trader work. I said it in the video. There we go. Guys, check out Fat Cat's content. Fat Cat is a great example of a consistent trader who stresses all of this stuff, this, insanely detailed and disciplined way of approaching trading in your practice session and really, everything around it in your whole life, meditation and all that. Check out Fat Cat's content. Just don't have your kids around when you're watching his videos. But Fat Cat's great. I really appreciate his content, man. Keep it up. Okay, so I thought of this as I was editing the video, and it's that someone's going to ask a question. Hey, Chris, why don't you consider one of those funded evaluator services or one of these combines or getting funded by a prop firm and, becoming one of their traders on their desk? So I would say that's not totally out of the question, but generally speaking, based on my current situation, context, and all of that, and my own risk tolerance, I want to feel what it is to be a trader to the fullest extent. This is a question you should ask yourself, and I ask myself this. I try to pretty often, which is, what do I see myself doing? What do I want to be? Where do I want to be? What do I see myself doing right now and in the future? What are you working towards? Where do you see yourself? In regards to my trading, I'm pretty much the type of guy, like, I'm happy to risk my own capital if I know that I have a positive expectancy and a positive edge. I would not be close to the idea of trading from a desk environment. That for me is something that is an attractive idea. When you start talking about these online prop firms, that's something that is less attractive to me. If someone gave me a phone call and said, hey Chris, we want to try you out on our desk, and I can show them my track record and the trades that I take and all of that, that would be a pretty interesting opportunity, because I believe that when you're involved with a live desk, a live environment, that all of a sudden you're now in a real sort of trading environment, instead of being in your apartment or in your house trading. It's certainly different, and it helps you get into the, I guess, that state of mind or that zone required to really, be banging out these trades during the time frame that you trade and all that. So, regarding those online prop firms, I'm not a fan of them. I don't support any of these online sort of funded trader evaluations. I mean, I don't talk about them at all on my YouTube channel. I think that many of them out there, I don't want to get into this because I'm going to get hate in the comments, but whatever. I mean, basically, I think a lot of them are a bunch of trash, and people who promote these things are just in it for the money, to take your money. So yeah, so I guarantee you there's traders out there that are putting in the time necessary to get better every day, and that are getting better, and that are developing, their process around very specific ways of trading. And if you're not doing that, guys, it's not really hard work. It's really consistency and discipline around that. And in order to have that, it requires that level of discipline in your overall lifestyle. And I've said this in many videos, but I don't have it, and I need to build it up. That's what I wanted to get across. So guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, let us know down below, and that's it. Take care.